break through the. Hey, you burn me up, believer, believer.
Oh, wow, dramatic silence. How's it going, everybody? You excited? Anybody in this room about to see J&J for the first time? So exciting. First time. First timers. They've never seen him. Well, you're going to have to stand up in the back. They're tiny little guys. They're barely visible over the speakers. So if you're in the back, you're going to have to. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, Jared and Jensen, here they are. Pick them up in the chair. Oh, you little rascal. All right, well, here's the deal. They're not going to come out on stage. They're timid little guys, and they don't want to come out on stage. They feel like the audience is at a fever pitch. You know, the audience has the energy pouring from every cell of their being. So I need you to get that energy up, and I'm going to do it by making this band play a little rock and roll. Boys, give me something. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Are you ready? Are you ready? Well, let's do this. Are we ready, people? Are we ready, people? Let me hear you scream! Jacksonville, I give you Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles!
Mr. Spade?
Mr. Padalecki, Mr. Ackles, we had this whole thing in place where the boys were going to do a little rock and roll music, and then Jared and Jensen would come down from the work they were doing, and it was going to time out perfectly. But I'd worked in all these cushions in case it didn't. You know, we had these like, well, if that doesn't happen, then this will do, and we'll do this.
It's like you know us.
It's like we've worked together before. Never. I overplanned. I was so ready for any situation. I walked off the stage. They were literally at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, crap! I didn't know you'd be so on time and stuff.
Well, meanwhile, we're sitting there at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, when Jared and Jensen come out, and we're like, oh, I guess he's just like, what is he talking about? Like, we're right here.
I was killing time. I was doing the thing that I do when I...
Same thing you do when you direct. Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. Okay. No. You know what, gentlemen? I'm going to get off the stage, but I'm going to make it officially official. Jacksonville, help us celebrate this last convention of 2018 by welcoming Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki.
All right. All right. Hi, guys and gals. Any first-timers to our last con of 2018? So far, so good. What was the worst part?
Yeah, that introduction, I think, was probably the worst part, wasn't it?
Stretching it out, just milking it, just overshooting it. It's 18 takes. He's not here to defend himself. Thank y'all for bringing us back.
How we doing, Florida?
Thank y'all very much for bringing us back. My thoughts exactly. We are right almost halfway between the first and the end of episode 13, also known as episode 300. So tomorrow is day 4, and we finish up on Friday. But there's nowhere else we'd rather be to kind of co-celebrate whilst shooting than here with our SBN family. So thanks a bunch for bringing us down here. We tried to bring some sun, but there was no sun where we came from.
There's a little sun out there right
So
now.
actually, yeah.
A little bit.
Not too bad.
Yeah, we came from the rain, so I feel like we kind of maybe have brought the rain.
We did bless the rain. We blessed it.
Bless the rains down in Jacksonville. Yeah. Look, it's funny. All right, it's good material.
You go to the elbows.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody's had a good weekend, and we're excited to be here, like Jared said. All right, calm down. This isn't. We're not opening it up yet. And I'll have whatever that person's having, please.
Make it 2, please.
Well, let's get going here. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's do this mess. You want to go over there?
Yeah,
go over here.
Let's go.
Why don't we start over here?
No,
you want to start over there? We can
no.
go start over there.
Okay, fine.
Let's
Let's
start
go
over, no,
ahead.
let's just go over here.
Dude, that's
Look,
fine with me.
I think we did it over there last time.
I guess,
so maybe we should probably go back over here.
5 in here, 5.
So, we're going left.
Hi. If you both could say one thing to your respective characters, what would you say?
To our psychic characters?
To your respective
Respective characters,
characters.
got it.
So, yes.
If we could say one thing.
Or your psychic characters. Who's this?
I'm not. I'm not hearing too good. Yuck. If I could say one thing to my character, I think I would probably tell him to stay in the bunker. Just increase the Wi-Fi signal. You know what I'm saying? And there are scary things out there, so just take it easy. You have a cool little, Chernobyl-style bunker. Make the most of it. Decorate a little bit. A little bit of flair. Some posters. The what Girl Digest? Architectural Digest. Busty Asian Beauties. Better Homes and Gardens.
Well, we talked about this a little bit this morning in the gold panel, but I would probably tell Dean about the filling a hula hoop with salt. And you could just kind of cruise your way right through any situation. I would also tell him, use your imagination. I would also tell Dean, I don't need you to use your imagination. Or your psychic character to use your imagination. I would also tell Dean to maybe oil the doors on the Impala.
They
It's
are
about time.
squeaky.
We get it. There's some nostalgic aspect to it, but oil the freaking doors. You waking up the neighbors.
What would you tell them?
Oh, gosh. I'm asking this question for my daughter.
Okay.
Whiskey business.
Blaming
Whiskey
the daughter.
business from today, this morning, you guys
Oh,
saw her.
whiskey
Oh,
business.
got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Suspenders, whiskey business.
Thank you,
Love it.
guys.
All right, thanks a bunch. Thanks, daughter. Whiskey business.
I
Hi.
wasn't ready.
What is it?
No, I wasn't ready. I just wasn't
Okay,
expecting.
go-
No, my heart is like pounding out of my chest. I can't breathe.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Okay.
Teddy bear doctors don't count.
So my question was, what was your favorite Christmas movie? Bleh, I can't talk. Oh my God. What was your favorite Christmas movie as a kid?
As a kid, it was Home Alone.
As a kid, it was Die Hard.
Look at that. You did great.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch. Thanks for your question.
Hi.
Hi.
This question is for Jared.
Till
I
you
believe
sound
it. I believe it was in season 2, and I believe you were filming in a cemetery. And as you were leaving, you said, "I think she broke my hand." And the next episode, you're wearing a cast. So I was wondering how you broke your hand while you were filming that episode.
So I actually broke my hand in episode 2. There was a scene where I get hit on the back of the head with a telephone, and I walk into a motel room, and I walk this way, and I sense something behind me, and so I turn, and there's a vampire, and I punch the vampire, but another one has come up behind me with I'm leaking, with a telephone, and smacks me over the back of the head. And so when I fell, I'm not leaking, I'm shedding. So as I fell, they're holding their camera there, and I fell, and I acted like I was passed out. The last second, I kind of put my hand out to the side to catch myself in order to, it was August 14th, in order to, it was my friend's birthday. And so to catch myself, because the stuntman who I had just supposedly knocked down, was there in front of me. So I put my hand out to catch myself, but the angle was incorrect. And so I snapped my wrist bone, and I got up, and Bob Singer was directing. I think it was episode 2. It could have been episode 3. Bloodlust? It was one of the vampire episodes in season 2. Anyways, I'm kind of like, oh, man. And for whatever reason, we went one more time. This time I didn't fall on my hand. And we cut. It was the last shot of the day. And my hand was just hurting. Like, it kind of hurt to make a fist, hurt to wash my hands. And so a couple days later, I was like, my hand is still hurting, man. I think it's bruised. Anyways, I went and got it x-rayed, and it was broken. My wrist was broken. But we had already started shooting the episode. Actually, the scene in the cemetery where my pants ripped, it was already broken because I got an x-ray, but they couldn't put the cast on during that episode, so we had to wait until the following episode to get surgery on it. I still have some cool scars. But yeah, so I guess that entire episode, my hand is broken, my wrist. I want to go back and watch now and see. You can see, as a matter of fact, there's a scene where we get into the Impala, and he's in the driver's seat, and I get in, and I reach across with my left hand to close the door, as opposed to just doing this. It's because my hand was hurting so badly. So yeah, fun fact, fun behind the scenes. We
Will
bleed.
you just sit down?
I'm not going to break anything again, yet.
You're making me nervous, man.
Good. Thank you for your question. Say again?
That's when I was for sure that your hand was hurt,
Yeah.
because when you got in the pile and you use your left hand, I said, oh, he really did hurt his hand. So
Yeah, you're saying I look like a weird, strange dude, right? I am a weird, strange. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Great observation. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so my friends and I sometimes send each other like reaction memes of you guys and of Misha, and
I do that all the time to all of my friends, and it pisses them off so much. They're like, it's not fair. I don't have memes of myself on my phone that I can send. Often it's the black and white one of this. I wish we got residuals for that, because I said it so much. Anyway, sorry.
and then so I was wondering if you had like a favorite meme.
See, my psychic character. That's what I would ask my psychic character. Yes. Yes, there's that one, the black
This
and
is
white.
mine. And now you know why.
I don't know how you and your friends are to each other on texts. My friends and I are very mean to each other. And so I also will often use, if I don't use the shocked, like, what did you just say to me? I'll use Sam, like, crying profusely in the Heart episode, or Dean also crying. So it's just like, oh, you hurt my feelings. And it's some epic cry face. And there's another one that's really creepy, and it's of me kind of doing like a, in a white, I think it was Soulless Sam in a white button-down shirt, and it kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit. And so I pass it along. I send it to Jen a lot. She doesn't like it. But yeah, those are the ones that I send. Mr. Eccles.
There, so I have this this text thread that has been going for over 5 years with 5 of my friends that I've known. Some I've known since I was 12 years old. Jason Mans is one of them, and we all had our first child within a year of each other. So every Friday, we call it Father Friday, we put a picture of our kid or kids now.
They multiplied?
Well, yeah, they have. Because I think we all now have multiple children. But we will text a picture of our kids to these 5 other friends of ours. And we call it, Father Friday. On that text thread, there's other conversations that happen as well. And I have used myself to meme several conversations. And one time I did, it was a meme of Ryan Reynolds going like this. And I sent that, and then immediately they were like, oh wow, I'm really shocked that you didn't find one of yourself to send. That's awesome. Look guys, he's growing up. And immediately I sent me going like this. And it was so perfect. I'm still proud of that today.
You should be.
I
You should be.
am.
What are your favorite supernatural memes to send?
What was that? Sorry.
Basically, same question. Do you send any supernatural memes to your friends? Oh,
She's like, no, I thought this was a Gotham convention. I don't.
Oh, it's it's Jensen mostly, because he makes like the or Dean.
Which one?
I have like a whole folder.
Oh, good, great.
you can do a meme folder?
There's like a lot of you and Jared and Misha, a lot of Misha. There's you just make.
She's basically saying you need to be more expressive and make stupid faces.
Sam is not expressive.
Like this one.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad
Thank
we
you.
could help you with your meme game.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What is a unique theme from the show that you try to exemplify on a somewhat normal basis?
Great question. And a bit of a stumper.
One of the themes of the show that we try to exemplify on a regular basis is really thinking hard before we answer a question.
It's
I think it's just done.
so stupid. I got one. It's never quitting.
Yeah, that's true. Even when we should quit acting like we're
As
thinking.
exemplified with 14 seasons.
Yeah, thank y'all. Yeah,
Much like the Winchesters, you can't kill us either.
because we are not the lose Chesters. Yeah, never quitting and sacrifice. Sacrificing for the greater good, ideally. What we think to be the greater good. Thanks so much. Velma. Hi.
So Hi, I promised my daughter that I wouldn't ask an inappropriate question, so here it goes with a serious one. Do
No,
the
come
write-
on now.
Oh, no. There's so many going through my mind, you just don't want to know. But I promise is a promise. Just
You're going to give up this
saying.
opportunity for your
Promise,
daughter?
So especially with all this many years on the show, do the writers let y'all have some input in the story or the scene, or let you improv and like, I really want it to go this way, not that way? How much say do you have in some of the things that happen?
Well, we're a lot bigger than the writers are. So, do the writers let us, or do we just do it anyways? I think it's probably.
That's what I would do.
We have a really great relationship with our writers, and it's been such a long time. And by and large, we've played Sam and Dean longer than the writers have written Sam and Dean.
Yep.
So they trust us, and we trust them, and they trust us. So it's a pretty unique, neat relationship that I think only happens when you've done 299 and counting episodes of a TV show. And so, yeah. And we also don't waste their time. You know, if there's a line in the script where Dean says, "Hey, where are you going, Sammy?" And I say, "I am going to the store," and I decide to say, "I'm going to the store," I'm not going to call the writers and be like, "Hey, instead of I am, can I say I'm?" You know, so contractions are allowed. So we stick with what we think is really pertinent or crucial to our characters and or to the storyline at large. But we're not in a position too often where we need to make a phone call.
Yeah, I'd say he's being modest when, about I'm and I am. But truthfully, I think they have given us a liberty to kind of massage the dialogue if we think we need to in order to enhance the scene or to better, to keep it within character to some degree. And they trust us to make those decisions on the day if need be. If it's a major story point, or it's something that is that needs discussion, then we'll call down and we'll have a meeting of the minds about it, and usually come to a very quick decision. And they do trust us in that capacity to help make those decisions. They take our notes, we take their explanations, and it's a really it's a great relationship, and it has been ever since the get-go. I mean, Kripke really kind of set up a community between the writers and the producers and directors and the actors, and everybody's working to make the best show that we can. And I think that's one of the great things about our set is the best idea wins, whether it's from the writer or the director or the actor or our on-set carpenter. And to be honest, we've all worked together so long that those guys do have suggestions. You know, in fact, Dave, our on-set carp, came up to me the other day and he was like, "Man, I think it'd be really cool if when you said this line, you walked over and picked this thing up." And I'm just throwing it out there, and I did it. It was a great idea because these guys watched the show all, for many, many years, and he's got investment into these characters and into the storyline. So to have a crew that we have that isn't just punching a clock. Everybody's there to make the best show that we can from the top down. And so there's a really cool relationship, not just with the actors and the writers, but with the whole crew, the whole company.
And it's also nice because sometimes there'll be just logistical problems. You know, it's Sam and Dean walk into the other day. We were doing a scene. It was in a hospital, and the scene, it's written where Sam does something to one of the machines in the hospital, but the way the scene was blocked out, Dean was closer to the machine, so it made sense for him to do it instead of Sam. So we were like, all right, well, let's change it, because why would Sam walk all the way over there to check something when Dean would just do it? So
we've even just, like if I'll walk in, and if I was the first one that made sense for me to enter a room, but he had the first line, and the line was, where did they go? He'll just be like, you just take that. But got it. So then, and that's not something that we need to call down to Los Angeles and bother these guys who are really thinking on a larger scale of what this show needs to be. Those are just that's the minutia that we kind of handle on a day-to-day basis, and they trust us to do that.
everything runs smoothly. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you so much for your question.
Makes the show even better. Catch me later for the appropriate ones, I'll whisper them.
Thanks a bunch.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question to you guys is, how would you think the plot of the show would have been affected if John would have died in the fire instead of Mary?
I don't think it would have changed much. Because you look at Mary and you look her past, she's a badass. She was also a hunter. So if something supernatural happened to John, she would have probably gone on the same wagon that John did and gone on a massive revengeance, to catch revenge. And she would have dragged her boys with her. And I think that's. I could definitely see that happening. I mean, I'm sure there may have been some differences in how she would have gone about it, but I don't know that it would be much different. And she would have, of course, sacrificed herself for her sons, just like the way that John did.
Yeah, we've seen her.
I think.
Now that we have a new mom, we've seen her do that and make sacrifices for the greater good and for hunting and for her boys. I think Sam maybe would have had a different experience because he lost his mom and left his dad. I think he'd probably lose his dad and maybe not. I mean, who knows? Maybe not leave his mom unless she went way into the hunting world, which, as Jensen said, she probably would, since she was the hunter in the first place. And I'm sure Sam, knowing that, Mary made a deal that affected Yellow Eyes and him as a baby, Sam probably would have had a grudge against her. Sam likes grudges against his parents. So, you give him a parent or a grandparent, he'll find something to be mad at them for. But I think it still would have been a pretty interesting story to watch. Maybe we'll see. Maybe there'll be an alternate universe where we get to see it. It's a great idea. Great question. Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
Just kidding.
That was a great question.
Thanks.
Santy. OU Santy.
The OU Santee. Sorry. Boomer Jared.
That's all right. That's all
It's all right. Okay. Howdy, I'm Cass. I just have a question about recent, oh God, who made me a parent? How am I responsible for this tiny human sort of thing? I drive in Houston every day, so I've accidentally taught my toddler some colorful language, which she says at completely inappropriate times.
You drive in Houston?
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
don't have a choice.
It's okay.
So I was wondering if there's any recent parenting fails we were like, oh shit, I can't believe that just happened, or...
Yeah, this wasn't really I guess we can call this a fail. Jen and I, we wanted to kind of make the house festive, and the boys were begging. We travel so much that the boys were like, can we stay in Austin for Christmas? I'm like, of course. I'm like, you know what? Let's try and make it a cool festive, and we like lights, and we decided to put some trees in the boys' rooms, little small trees, but have them, they both did ornaments at their schools, and it's like, cool, this will be a neat, and then before Christmas we'll all get together and put on the big tree downstairs. This is an accidental fail. So Shep, who I call Drunk Jared, he'll be 5 in a week, but he's a pretty curious little kid, and I guess they were kind of misbehaving a little bit, and so Genevieve was like, Tom, Shep, go to your rooms. You just both need to kind of take some time, so go to your rooms, read a book, whatever. And about 15 minutes later, Tom starts yelling, Mom, Mom! And so Jen kind of goes up, she's like, yes. And they've all been sick. And Tom goes, Shep, he figured out a way to make the lights shock him. So Shep had unplugged the lights and unscrewed them and then plugged it back in and touched the part. And you could figure out. Yeah. Funny, but not funny. And so Jen calls me, and it's another one of these moments where Jen calls, and I'm like, hey, and I see her face like, hey. And she's like, I need you to talk to Shep. I was like, what's going on? She's like, well, he almost tried to kill himself and burn the house down. I'm like, okay, well, tell me some more info so I know what's going on. So Shep gets on FaceTime. I'm like, hey, buddy, what happened? He's like, the lights got unplugged. You're like, okay, what else happened? He's like, and Jen's like, you're not gonna get in trouble, just tell your dad. He's like, well, I turned them in a circle. Like, you turn the lights in a circle? He's like, yeah, and then they came off, and when you touch it, it makes you feel funny. So, sort of an accidental fail, but you gotta be on your toes with these little guys. When Odette gets bigger.
Trust me, you'll be fine. I was recently one of the parents chaperoning a field trip for my daughter's kindergarten class. And I was the only dad. And which was fine because I think there was like 4 moms and then me and the teachers. And so I was basically just the pack mule. Like they'd load me up with the cooler and all the snacks and the backpacks and the jackets, and I'm just, which is fine. But at a certain point, they were like doing some like arts and crafts or something. This was out at a farm, and I noticed that JJ was trying to get to the front where she could hear the counselor lady explain what was going to happen, and one of the little boys shoved her. Because she kind of came up next to him, and he just turns and goes, boom! And then she turns around and like shoves him back, and nobody sees this but me. And shoves him back, and then he's like about to, it's about to escalate, and so I just kind of grab his arm and I just kind of move him over here. I wanted to do more. And I diffused it very quickly before anybody really even saw it. And then because I did that, he kind of got upset and went over to his mom, who happened to be there as well. Didn't say anything, was just like upset. And mom was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he was just like, "Nothing." So I was like, "Hello, punk." And that wasn't necessarily the fail. The fail came later when we were going over to the goat pen, and these goats had horns. And it said very clearly on the gate to stay back from the fence because the horns can get through and can get you. So I walked a few of them over there to supervise, and here comes little buddy. Why don't you go see if one can come over to you? And one started to kind of motor over to him, and he was right against the fence, and I was literally just holding the other like 4 kids back, and I'm like, shh, just let it happen. I will say though that before the goat got too close, I reached over and I grabbed the back of his collar. Yeah. I grabbed the back of his collar, pulled him back, and I was like, no, let's go, come on back. But it was an attempted fail. I got to be careful. I got to curb that because I know I'm going to be put in that situation a lot with 3 kids.
But this is the way he pulled the kid back. Right as the goat was getting close, he's like, all right. I was saving him. I had to save him from the goat. The goat was going to get him. Back up, kid, back up. Yeah. Hey. I think that's good parenting, though.
Anyway, I think that's good parenting.
Well, I had a moment at the food trailers. I never tell the knife story at the trailer. Okay, I'll tell it another time. I don't go to prison.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Hi. What's your favorite special effect or practical effect to film?
Ooh. I like shooting guns.
That's not really special effects.
It's just or practical. I mean, doing something logistical.
I recently learned, I had to learn something that I was going to be doing on camera that I had never done before. And that was kind of cool. So I got to go into the special effects truck. They set up a station, and I got taught how to weld. And not just weld, then I got to I got to cut angle iron and cheap metal, and I was using a cutting torch. That was really fun. Sparks flying everywhere. So anyway, the reason I had to learn how to do that, I'm not going to tell you.
I do like the angel special effects when wings can reveal themselves and the light. I enjoy that.
This is one that I don't like. I like the end result when you see it on the episode, but filming it's so weird, and that is beheading a vampire.
Oh, it takes
because this is what it looks like. If I'm the vampire, and Sam, for this reenactment, he'll play the part of Sam.
Don't touch me, Dean.
I'm like, either your hair is on your chin or that's the longest whisker I've ever seen in my life.
I'm saving it. Curl it.
So I would be the bad guy. He would step in with a machete and stop. I would step out. Jared would overlap that action and try to swing through the exact spot. Now that's kind of difficult.
Because it's also, the blade is, you have to get at the exact same
angle
trajectory.
of the blade is, yeah.
So
Yeah, so then I'd step in again, line up, let him line up, and then I would step out and let him take a free swing. Then I would step in, he would step out. I would try to line up my neck, because they'd have a freeze frame, right where the blade hit, and then I would collapse.
And then
the third part, and this is the stupidest part, a fake head.
Matching the vampire's head.
An actual like dummy head.
So in comes visual effects.
Is then held by generally Robin, our props, on-set props department.
To match the exact
And
place
then
where it was,
she
and the
would
exact
try to
angle of the nose, and the tilt of
the tilt of the
this,
head. And then they would say 3, 2, 1, action, and this is literally what happens to the head.
And it's a pretty drawn out process. Like that just took 60 seconds, but it takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
It takes quite a while.
It always looks great, but the
Yeah,
doing of
again,
it kind
the
of
end result is fine, but getting it done is
especially when they happen in the beginning
and
of a
it's
fight
so
scene or something.
anticlimactic. It's like, okay, and pause there, stop, great. One person, you step out, and I'm gonna need you to overlap that action.
That was too low. I need you to bend it down.
No, that
light-
wasn't. No, that.
Yeah. Especially when they're at the beginning of a fight, because you've blocked out this fight. It's going to take all day long, and then you get caught up. You want to get some momentum going, so that's kind of a difficult effect, but fun. Yeah, life is good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Daniela. I was wondering, Jensen, what was it like filming the house tour with Daniil and Jared? Do you think you and Jen would ever consider doing it as well?
You first.
Filming the house, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. It was an afternoon. They came in and we gave a tour, which, you know, we've done with our friends numerous times. So it was just kind of like giving our friends a quick little tour of the house. We have a lot of fun items in our house that we've taken time to curate and put up. So there's a lot of funny stories that kind of is integrated into our home, and some people find that boring, others find it interesting. I don't know, but yeah, it was cool. And Architectural Digest was really they were super professional, and yeah, it was a nice time. I really had nothing to do with it. I just kind of showed up, and they were like, "Okay, here's your cameras," and I'm like, "What are we doing? What's happening?" They're like, "We're gonna give a tour of the house to Architectural Digest." Oh, all right, welcome. So it was cool though. It was fun.
Fun to watch. I don't know if we would ever do a in-depth one, but we kind of show our house anyways. You know, like we'll do different shoots for Jen's Instagram, or we'll take pictures inside or outside and post them, or little videos here and there. So I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I feel like we kind of already let a little glimpse of our world into the stratosphere, the intrawebs. We'll see. I guess time will tell.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Say again? Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff in the house. The doll.
The doll?
Oh, the scary doll.
Oh. Yeah. It's
his favorite. Now leave it.
No, it's like part of her. It's like her great grandmother's or something like that. Like it's there to stay. Let's just say that. But it's not going to stop creeping me out. So.
Hi.
Of the skills you've used on the show, like welding, mechanic, picking locks, how many of them do you actually have?
Of the skills we use on the show, how many do we actually use?
Yeah,
Still?
actually able to do, like, are you a mechanic? Can you actually pick a lock? That kind of thing.
I can't pick a lock. I can do the credit card thing.
Shoot a gun?
When I can shoot a gun.
I can kick a door in.
I can, yeah. I can knock somebody out. I can't get hit by a car. I'd like to not test that theory. I can't weld, but I don't weld on the show. I guess I technically have a driver's license.
But you don't drive.
I can read. I can read and I can Google some stuff. I mean, I can read real good. Real good, Lee.
I would say, I'd say our weapons skills are pretty good. They're probably not quite as broad as the Winchesters, but we certainly know how to handle the ones that they give us, and that came with proper training. Other than that, other skills. Driving, I can drive that car pretty well. And
I can pretend to be somebody I'm not, which I guess
Yep.
Sam pretends to be somebody he's not. So I can do that.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, I guess. Thank you for pointing out. I'm sort of skillless, and I'm realizing that I got to learn some stuff. Thank you for your question.
I can drink like Dean.
And I can eat like Dean. So, thank you. Hi.
Hey there. So I wanted to know, over the course of 14 seasons, y'all have played a bunch of different characters and also multiple iterations of your own character. Which one was the most fun? Not challenging, not difficult, just fun, and why?
I've often said I like Soulless Sam, and I do, but something else was brought to my attention in the last couple of weeks, and maybe I'm gonna have to explain what this is, but I also like playing Gary Sam. That was fun in a proper sense of the word. So yeah, for those who don't know, what was called? One called Swap Meet. Swap Meet. Swap Meet. Yeah, that was truly fun. It was nerve-wracking, but it was fun to play. Yeah. There's another one. Oh.
Let's just say there's one coming up that
tuned.
might be a new favorite. A new version.
Yeah.
Of Sam.
And
that's right, guys. Spoiler alert: Sam's gone. It's new Sam.
Dead Sam.
No.
Recast Sam.
It's
yeah. Stay tuned. Yeah. There'll be.
Okay. What was it? What was the question?
Different version. What's been the most fun?
Oh, the most fun. I'm gonna have to go with Yellow Fever, Dean.
What about Jensen Ackles, Dean? Grimly.
I never played him.
You played Jensen Ackles as Dean.
But I played Jensen Ackles playing Dean.
No, you played Dean.
I played Dean, played by Jensen Ackles.
Playing Jensen Ackles, playing Dean, playing Jensen Ackles.
Stop it.
When you really think about it, it was Jensen Ackles playing Dean,
It's not.
playing Jensen Ackles playing Dean. What were your favorites?
Now that you said the Gary Sam, that was hilarious.
That was pretty
I totally wasn't even thinking about that one. I was
Yeah.
going to go with Soulless Sam.
Yeah.
And for Dean, I would think Demon Dean would have been really fun to play with.
He would definitely be, you know, a favorite as well. There's something about the Yellow Fever Dean because he's playing a character who you know, really isn't afraid of much at all, and plays that up. The fact that there's not a lot that you know frightens him, to then be frightened by everything was such a turn that I just had a lot of fun with it. That was fun to play.
That's my favorite episode, so.
Well,
That's a funny episode.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was scary. I found myself laughing during the filming of that one quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you ruined a lot of really perfectly decent takes.
I know I did. I left one of the scenes.
You did. He walked away. He was laughing so hard.
And
what was the
the
scene?
snake.
What was this? Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. The snake's coming over, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Just
Yeah, I've got a snake the size of a tree trunk crawling across my shoulder, and he's 6 feet away, and then gets up and leaves the scene.
I really did. They had to change the camera angle so you didn't know that I wasn't there. I was like, nope. I think it's the only time I've ever done that. Like, nope, I'm not doing this. See you later.
I just, for some reason, caught a bit of maybe in a blooper or something. I don't know. But it was when we were doing a scene over the top of the Impala, and Phil was directing, and you were laughing so hard on your off camera, and it was an over, and I couldn't get the words out because he was just like crying. He was laughing so hard, but the camera couldn't see him. It just could barely see
That
him.
was when you're like, zhuzh, 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 zhuzh.
Something like that, yeah. And so I was like, I can't say these words to him because his face is so puckered and it's like leaking. And Phil's like, just keep going. And I'm like, I can't. Are you seeing him? Does he have to be in this scene?
It was at Riverview.
And no, it was at the
Yellow Fever. It was Yellow Fever.
No.
Yes.
It was in the junkyard. It was in Bobby's junkyard.
I don't know. We're both in suits.
It's Bobby's junkyard, 100%. And so I make him turn around, and he does the scene because now this shoulder's on camera, and you're just catching a little piece of him, but you see this. He's vibrating because he's laughing so hard. And the whole crew is laughing too.
It's Yellow Fever.
It's not.
It is. It's because you're like, what kind of crazy people
No.
do that?
That was at Riverview. This is a totally different scene. You're right about that scene, but that's not the scene I'm talking about.
It's all just one
I know.
big melt.
Look, man, 300 episodes.
God, now I want to see what that is.
We're in a set where we're in a location in the 300th episode that we're filming right now that we haven't been to since season 8. And walking through the set last Friday, it was amazing. Like all of these memories came flooding back, and I was like, just walking through this little section, and I was just like, wow, I remember this vividly. I remember this. I remember this. I remember this, and it was 6 years ago.
Ellen and Joe, the hardware store.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the scene between where Dean essentially tells Benny goodbye? That one.
You remember one of my favorite scenes without dialogue in supernatural history, the introduction of Death walking down the street?
Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great episodes and scenes filmed in that area.
The end.
The end? Uh-huh.
The glimpse into the future of post-apocalyptic.
Fight the fairies in the
Fight
car.
the fairies. It's where I get loaded into the car and I'm like, you fight those fairies!
Yeah. And we haven't been there in 6 years, and so we go to shoot there, and like you said, you get back there, you haven't set foot on that in that place for 6 years.
And it's because
Weird.
it became really the only place in Vancouver. It's called the Back Lot, and it's a film set lot that looks like a main street of a town, but it's not. It's just a facade. And it was really the only place in town, and we started using it immediately. It actually got built from the movie The Watchmen. They had originally built it and then left it, and the people that owned the land just left it up, and all these other productions started going, oh, well, can we use it? Can we use it? And so Supernatural ended up using it quite a bit for a number of years, and then big movies started coming up, and big shows, you know, Netflix shows and Amazon shows, and they just kind of outbid us, and we weren't able to use it for quite a while. But we got in there for this episode, which is kind of cool.
We'll point it out. Hi.
Hey, you guys are kind of big celebrities now, but you used to be regular people, like us regular people.
I mean, I didn't want to say it.
Well, I was just wondering if you've met celebrities on or off the show or out in the wild where you fanboyed over them the way regular people fanboy over you now.
A bunch. Yeah, I sort of, I've met a few and kind of laughed, not expecting to react like that. The one that sticks out is Mike McCready, the guitarist for Pearl Jam. One of the traveling tour managers was a fan of Supernatural. They had a concert in Vancouver. And so we take Jen and Daniil, and we walk into the green room because we have backstage passes and whatnot. And McCready's standing over there, and I don't realize it, but Jen starts trying to get her hand away from my hand, and she's like, "You're hurting my hand." She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I guess I just started kind of like squeezing her hand, like in a really creepy way, like, this is weird. He's right there. That's kind of one that sticks out to me.
I just had one recently, and I never got confirmation on who I thought it was, and I'll tell you why. So I was, it's kind of how I sounded. I was in the gym at a hotel, and I was working out, and it was just me, and there was an older gentleman on the elliptical thing, and then a woman over on the bike or something, and that was it. It was a small gym, pretty empty. And I was sitting there, and the gentleman got off of the elliptical and went over and started doing like cable stuff or whatever. And I looked at him and I was like, no. And I looked down, I looked back up, and I was like, okay, all right, what do I do? And for the next like 10 minutes, I didn't work out at all. I was like, oh, maybe I just need to get some water that's over by his station. And I'm like,
Some water. Oh,
drank that quick. I don't know why I walk like that in the gym, but I do. And I finally realized, I was like, just ask him. Just be like, oh, are you playing in town? Or say something. And I literally couldn't build up the nerve to ask him. And I was like, well, this is ridiculous because I'm not working out anymore. Like, this is pointless. I'm just stalking this poor gentleman in the gym. And it's a very small gym, and I'm sure he's starting to notice it. And so I left. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm leaving. I'm just going back to my room.
How did you walk out when you left?
I'm pretty sure it was Eric Clapton.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
But here's the thing. Had I gone up and gotten confirmation and it was, I don't want to know what would have happened next. I don't want to know. I'd rather just play it cool. which isn't cool at all. It's probably worse than just going up and you know, freaking out. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, that's funny. You make me remember. I was at a restaurant in Sausalito, California, and we walked in. It was a nice Italian restaurant, and out of the corner of my eye, I kind of saw a guy sitting in the front bar area with big old headphones on, and he was kind of like he had a computer on his desk and was sitting there kind of like just swaying to some music. And I remember kind of going like, this doesn't seem like the right place for somebody to come in and just start listening to headphones. So I didn't think much of it. And then I kind of glanced over to go like, who is this dude at this nice Italian restaurant who's just like sitting here jamming out to the music in his head or in his headphones? And I look over and I'm like, oh, Carlos Santana, got it. He can do whatever he wants. As if he needed my approval or something. He can stay, guys. He's with me.
I just thought of another one. So the apartment that I live in Vancouver, there was a movie filming there. Some of you may have saw it. I don't know. Deadpool. And Ryan and Blake, the production had rented them an apartment in my same building. And I never did see Ryan because he was probably on set all the time, or I was on set all the time, whatever. But I did see Blake twice in the elevator, and it was just me and her child. And I'd be on, and she'd get on, and like I've met her, I've like taken pictures with her. She was on the same network with us for years, but for some reason she gets on, and I'm just like. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. And she never said anything to me, and I never said anything to her. And
Yeah, she probably thought you were a weirdo.
probably. Yeah.
So when
Which is probably the same thing Eric Clapton thinks now.
When he first told me the story, it was slightly different. He omitted something. He said, you know, he heard Ryan and Blake were in the same building, and he never saw Ryan. But when you told me the story, you said you never saw Ryan because the drone wouldn't go as high as his floor, or the blinds were always closed or something. I forget what you.
And I'm pretty good at flying that thing now.
Yeah, I had something the other day. I've had these things where people can't quite figure out, especially sometimes when I'm bearded or it's during off season or something. I can tell they're staring at me, but they don't know why. And finally they give up on it. But Jen and I were on vacation with the kids over Thanksgiving break, and she's like, "Hey, let's go have a drink in the bar because we still have a nanny, and it's like 6 p.m. or something." And I was like, "Sweet, alone time," because our nanny's watching the kids. And so I enter this like bar restaurant up in Whistler, and I'm sort of looking around. I can't see her. And I see her finally, 50 feet that way, and there are 2 glasses of red wine, and she's facing the other direction, has on this cool little stylish hat and like her little coat. And I walk up, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, sorry, it took me a second to get here." And as I look, it's not my wife. So my hands are on her shoulders. I'm about to sit down, and she goes, "I don't know you." And as I turn around to look, I realize that Jen was like behind a post, that I walked right past Jen to come scratch some lady's shoulders. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go sit with my wife. My bad." And Jen's like sitting over there looking at me like, "What the hell was that?"
Was she sitting with anybody?
No, she was waiting for somebody, like everything. It was Jen's
Oh, it
clothes.
would have been so much better if she was like, "Oh, wow. You look way better than your profile picture."
Or worse.
Gosh, you don't look anything like your profile picture.
You put on some weight, I guess.
Liars.
Check, please. Yeah, mistaken identity. It was pretty embarrassing. But also,
What about the guy in the hotel last night? So Jared and I go and we check in late last night because we flew in from Vancouver, and so we just go grab a bite to eat at the hotel. And as we're kind of walking out, there's a door guy there, like a bellman.
probably 20.
Yeah, young kid, young good-looking kid, like 9 feet tall, and we walk up, and he's like, "Hey, you guys look just like those dudes from Supernatural." We're standing next to each other, and he's like,
he saw you first. He's
Yeah,
like,
he looked at
"Man,
me,
you
he's
look
like,
like,
"Oh, hey."
wait a
He's like,
second, and you look like the
"Hey,
other
you-
one."
wow,
It's crazy.
Has anybody ever told you guys you look like those guys from Supernatural? And I didn't know. I was like,
Is he checking with us? Are we getting punked? What's going on?
because that's happened to me like by myself. Like, has anybody ever told you you look like that guy from Supernatural? And you know, depending on how much of in a rush I am, I'll either be like, it's me, yeah, how you doing, nice to meet you, or I'll be like, you know what, I've gotten that a lot of times and I use it. But this, I mean, it's like so blatantly obvious. And
We're
he's
just
like,
standing there like-
and he's like, you guys, do you look, I mean, you look just like him. And finally Jared's like, it's because we are them.
And he's like,
and
nah.
he goes, no way! Oh man! My sister's gonna freak out. And then he was like, okay. I think you wanted to ask for a picture, but he was like working and there were cameras and he's like, okay, well, man, I mean, you guys really look like him. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
I've had some where they're like, you look like the guy from Supernatural. And I'm like, he sounds handsome. And they're like, I mean. the angel, you mean? No. Yeah, identity. Funny thing. Thank you for your question.
It's the last question.
Amen.
It's the last question.
It is the last question, my friend.
The last question.
The very last question.
It's the last question.
That's right.
Last question.
It's the last question, big guy.
You have to help me because I don't really
got
know
you.
this
Here we
very
go.
well. I'm stepping in. It's the last question.
This is Al Zero.
It's the last question.
We're wrapping it up.
It's the last question. This is the caboose. It's the last question.
The last one.
Okay,
Okay,
we said we were going to work on that.
I want to
we
say,
didn't.
I got to say something before you introduce this young lady. I feel like we've hit a true milestone as a unit.
A new low?
No, that's you know damn well we can't go any lower. A new high, because as you came out to do the last question, and the band's doing what they do, and you and Jason are doing what you do, she was mouthing the words. It's now a hit single. She actually knew the words.
She should have
was
sang it
literally
then.
over here going, beedly bop bop deep dop ba doodle. I mean, right in time with you guys. I'm like,
Well, in time with
gentlemen, we've
Jensen.
arrived.
Time with Jensen. She actually,
I did not know it, so.
she actually said to me, she goes, Jason's off.
She did not.
She was not wrong.
That was awesome. Anyway,
Ladies and
Jared,
gentlemen, yes, SPN family, men and gentlemen, and ladies and girls of the SPN family, please welcome Martha as our last question.
Of 2018.
2018. Martha, where are you from?
Yes. What is your question?
Where am I from, or what's my question?
What is your
That was our
both.
question.
Okay, so
Wait, where is your question? What is you from?
oh god, okay. I'm from Miami.
Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. I learned that from Will Smith. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. Sorry. Lo siento.
I apologize.
I already did that on Espanol. Sorry. It's a long flight. No, poquito.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to.
she's got the lyrics.
Excuse me.
down.
I just need you to hold this. Don't use it. Just hold it.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you guys for all the work that you do. I really, truly appreciate it. You guys. Oh my God.
Thank you back.
Anyway, my question question was, what's been your favorite moment from season 14 to film so far? Maybe not necessarily that has to do with the storyline, but just in regards to, you guys, like behind the scenes.
That's a great question. There have been a lot of moments so far. I'll say this. This is kind of a strange answer because it hasn't yet happened, but my favorite moment that I've been looking forward to for a long time, we're going to film in 4 days. So even though it hasn't happened, I know it's going to be something that is going to be very, very special. So I'll go with that.
Well, you stole mine. So,
all right.
I will. I'll say another one. Another one of my favorite things that we have filmed is a bar fight that will be coming up very soon. There you go. There's not a whole lot I can say about it without giving too much away. So there's a fairly epic bar fight that comes that's coming up. Is it the next?
We won't spoil. But
No. I'm just trying to figure out what episode it is.
I feel really bad for messing up your hair early. Mike joke gone awry, you know what I mean?
He found that outside in the parking lot, so I wouldn't let him do that.
When Rob's not here, I really freak out, man. Oh, it's stuck. Crap. I'll go.
Yeah, that's...
So coming up soon. Unfortunately, both you haven't seen yet, but they're coming
That's
soon.
creepy level expert there. That's
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.
It was the last question. That's all she wrote. It was the last question for 2018. It was the last question. Just for this year. It was the last question. There'll be more next year. It was the last question. Absolutely.
It was the very last question.
One more round. Here we go. It was the last question. Oh yeah, it was. It was the last question for 2018. It was the last question.
That was all she wrote.
It was the last question.
But we'll be back next
Here we go.
year.
Ladies and gentlemen of Jacksonville and the surrounding counties, a big end of the year. Thank you and goodbye to Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki.
Down the only road I've ever known, like a drifter I was born to walk alone. But I made up my mind, I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go. What I'm looking for.
Sign in the banner. Take it, Noni.
And another hold on, sweet charity. I know what it means.
Yeah, you do, Noni.
Come on, see it. To walk along this day to dream.
Here we go.
Here I go again on my own.
Oh, baby.
Going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. But I made up my mind, I ain't wasting no more time.
There they are. J&J. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever, duet, three voices singing. Stephen Norton on lead vocals for that last track. That was stepping in there, joining Jason Mans and Jensen Ackles. Well done, everybody. You survived. Now we got a little break so you can recover yourself, catch your breath, look at all the photos you took, and then we'll be back with more panels, more autographs, more photographs. I'll see you guys in a little bit.